guys, Courtney Mermaid here, and welcome to another video. In today's video, I want to talk to you guys about how to choose the mermaid tail that is right for you. So I want to start this video off just quick by saying that no matter what kind of mermaid tail you use, be it fabric, silicone, latex, what have you, you are no more or less a mermaid. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You can tell them I said so. I'm making this video more just to give you some of the reasoning and some of the things that you should think about behind a specific mermaid tail choice. So remember, this is not about what other people think makes a real mermaid or what other people think the best kind of mermaid tail is. This is about what you think the best mermaid tail is for you and for what your purpose is, what you're doing, you. Okay, I know it's really hard when we're all thinking like, oh, I don't have a silicone tail, I'm not a real mermaid, or like, oh, you know, this, that, and the next thing. And just remember that at the end of the day, this is about you and your experience, and everybody else is doing their own thing. So just kind of squeeze it all out if you can, and just bring it right back here. Okay, with all that out of the way, let's just dive right into this here. So the first thing you want to think about when you're choosing your mermaid tail, are you doing this recreationally or are you doing this professionally? A lot of your decisions on what kind of tail you need to go for or you would like to go for are going to be based on this point. There are a lot of people out there that argue that a fabric-tailed mermaid can't be a professional mermaid. I would love to just be like, hey, I've been doing this for how many years now and I have fabric tails only, but hey, that's fine. No, I'm not sensitive about this topic, I swear. The fact of the matter is it just isn't true. You don't need to have a silicone tail to be a professional mermaid, if that's your goal. It is, however, how a lot of mermaids feel. And I say mermaids specifically because I have not had, like, I've done gigs and I've not had it be an issue with clients before. I know that there are some mermaids who say, they're like, oh no, they only want silicone tail only. I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna depend on where you're working and what you're doing specifically, but I haven't had it as an issue in my many years doing this. So the question you really need to ask is, who is your audience? And based on that, are you going to be more comfortable in silicone, fabric, or neoprene? It's really going to be up to you personally and the needs of your business if you're choosing to do this professionally. But please don't let anybody put this whole you need to have a silicone tail to be taken seriously nonsense on your shoulders. It's just not the truth. And honestly, it makes me a little crazy. Now that being said, there is absolutely nothing wrong with wanting a silicone tail specifically. If that's what you want, that's all that matters. My opinion shouldn't sway you either way. All I want is for you to have the best mermaid experience that you can have, and if that's gonna be in a silicone tail, that's the winner right there. The point that I'm trying to kind of bring home here is that it is up to you, okay? And you know, people will ask me, oh, why don't you have a silicone tail? Because I don't want one. And it's not that I hate silicone tails or I have anything against them. I swim in silicone monofins and I love them, but I am a fabric tail girl and they make me happy. And if that makes me happy, then that's what matters to me. So whatever it is that matters to you, that's key. The second big point is, are you going for looks or are you going for performance? This is gonna go for both fabric and silicone tails in different ways. Are you gonna be more concerned about what the tail looks like, how many extra fins, how much extra fringe, how much, you know, extra embellishments it has, or are you gonna go strictly for functionality first? For me, I know that I am 100% performance first. I need my tail to be functional. I need to know when I am in that tail that I am comfortable and it is functional. I'm not gonna be dragged down by a bunch of extra fabric, that I'm gonna be able to be safe in the tail, that's not to say that tails with extra fins aren't safe. I'm just making a separate point here. But for me, performance is key. It is going to be up to you though if you are okay with extra drag, but these are things you're gonna have to think about, right? If you're okay with it not being as functional, but it has a specific look that you're looking for, then that's what you go for, right? So it is gonna be, you are going to need to weigh out the pros and cons of having a tail with more going on versus a tail with less going on. The next, probably most important point is, what is your budget? While fabric tails do also range in price, they are definitely the more affordable option in comparison to silicone. However, do your best to look at your mermaid journey as a big picture, see where you're headed. Is it worth it for you? Maybe not to spend more on other tails if you want to save up for that one specific tail. you do have to kind of weigh it out, because if you're like me, money isn't growing on a tree in my backyard. This isn't Animal Crossing here, seriously. I haven't got 6 million bells in the bank, you know what I'm saying? But you can definitely look at the range. So anywhere from a few $100s to several $1,000s. But again, it's going to need you to do your research, okay? You need to figure out how much do you think you'll be able to make from your business? Can you afford a tail without going into a ridiculous amount of debt? And what are you using the tail for, right? So it all kind of comes together, but what it really boils down to is you need to sit down and have a really good long discussion with yourself and kind of weigh out the pros and cons, what your plan is with the tail. And if you're doing it just recreationally, then it doesn't really matter. If it's just a hobby for you, like it was for me, that's all that it matters then. Just whatever's gonna make you happy that you can afford, and away you go. One other thing that you do need to take into consideration as well before you make your purchase is what is the upkeep of this tail going to cost you. When it sustains damage, which it will, all mermaid tails do, this isn't some kind of a mystery, how much is it gonna cost you to fix it, and how difficult is it gonna be, and what is your backup plan? So if you're a professional mermaid, what do you do if your tail gets a big rip in it and you're like, I don't know, I gotta ship it off to my tail maker, and what am I gonna do in the meantime? And meanwhile, you've got 3 gigs scheduled and no mermaid tail, and what do you do? So there you go. That's another thing. Having a plan B is always a good thing. And something to think about. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it at that, just to give you guys kind of my sort of nugget opinion, as it were. If you guys have any other thoughts or suggestions on how to best choose a mermaid tail, definitely leave those in the comment section down below. You guys know I love hearing from you. You guys always have such great thoughts to share. And otherwise, that's gonna be it for this video. Okay, and today's featured pod member is the lovely Nerdmaid Faith. For those of you who don't know, Nerdmaid Faith, who is awesome, by the way, you should go check her out. She also has a YouTube channel, and she's on Instagram and all over the place. But she is responsible largely for getting the community more involved and more active here in Vancouver. So a huge shout out to Nerdmaid Faith for being awesome. And here she is rocking one of my fabric mermaid tails that I made for her in the H2O style. And on that note, that's where I'm gonna leave you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to join the pod and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any of my mermaid adventures. And otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Happy swimming! Bye!